AM 1430 KRGI 105.5 FM. Good morning. I'm Brian Gallagher. This is Community Connection. It's brought to you by Cornhusker Toyota Honda, Nebraska's only combined Toyota Honda dealership. Thursdays, we turn our focus to education. Here on behalf of Grand Island Public Schools is Angie Eberle from Dodge Elementary to talk about getting ready for the new school year. First, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
This is something where it's a cycle, and then once you have your kids in school, you go through it every year. Certain things need to be done at certain times, and as an educator, I'm sure you feel that cycle too. So let's ask from your perspective as a principal, what is summer preparation like?
Well, there's several things that we take care of during the summer as principals, but one of the main things is that time to reflect on the previous year, think about things that worked and didn't work, our school improvement goals, and what our results were. We look at a lot of data. I look at the teacher feedback that I collect at the end of the year as well. And then from that reflection and think about what worked, didn't work, I create a vision for the upcoming year. What are some new things we're going to work on? What are things we're going to tweak and improve on? And, of course, everything that we work on is going to be what's best for our kids and how we can keep moving our kids forward in their progress. Also, recently, we have onboarded our new teachers. I've got 2 new teachers at Dodge. Actually, one's new but returning to Grand Island Public Schools, which is exciting. So we do things to get them welcomed into our building, into their classrooms, and teach them kind of our Dodge ways, how we handle things. Of course, we have to create communication to our families, want them to know when the first day of school is and what things that they can expect. But personally, as a principal, and a lot of principals I know, we're lifelong learners. So also as a principal, I did a lot of professional development myself. Still taking classes. I took a class. I attended a conference. And from the conference, it was about other Title I buildings and some of the things that they do to reach student achievement, and to try to read when I can, read things that I think my teachers would be interested in and things that would help in our school improvement plans for the next year. So a busy summer.
You take a lot of input then, but when you try to sort all of this out, how do you prioritize what needs to be a key priority and then maybe second or third in line?
Right. What's nice is our district really has a nice outline for us of their 3 priorities, and so we always make sure whatever we're doing in our buildings align with those 3 priorities. That first priority is professional learning communities, or PLCs, if you hear that school lingo. That's a time when our teachers will plan very intentionally for math, reading, whatever subject units, and how they're going to assess that. They look at data during those meetings and make plans from that data. Another focus they have is, of course, instruction. We have an instructional model with strategies that are evidence-based, and we know that will be effective in our classrooms. And then the third focus is positive supports, and that's funnels down from our school-wide systems to classroom systems to individual student needs. And so when I'm looking at our individual school data with my leadership team, we look at how we did compared to those 3 priorities. The district has a nice format for us then to break down which are very specific strategies in those 3 focus areas that we can continue working on, and then we create our school improvement plan from there. So it's nice because in every building in Grand Island's aligned to the same focuses, but you can personalize it to your own needs in your own building.
So you talked about how each building kind of has its own area, its own culture. Do you see your school's culture close to being in line with them from a day-to-day operation, or do you see one that maybe this is stronger here, this is stronger over here, and those are things that you can collectively learn from?
Right. Yeah. Every building has their own unique culture. You know, at Dodge, I have teachers say, we feel like a family, and we do feel like a family. And I know in other buildings, they feel that way too. And it takes time to create that feeling and that culture within your building. I like to always try to make sure we're focused on the same things, that collective efficacy, that we're working towards the same things. As a staff, we've created our own mission statement, our own vision statement, and our own core values specific to our Dodge staff. And so everyone from classified staff to certified staff had input in that. And so they feel like that's, Dodge is the place where they belong, and that's where we get that family feel. Also, with our culture, I want to create a place where people want to come and where people want to stay. Like I said, we have a teacher returning, and that's a good feeling. It's a place where people want to come back to. So try to add some fun. We add some positivity. We show appreciation to each other, and those are just things we try to build on a day-to-day basis.
It sounds to me like your support mechanism for teachers then is really good. How about support system for students? Because students learn so much, and there is so much diversity now in and around Grand Island that you have a mix of cultures, a mix of languages, a mix of backgrounds, and with all of that, you're still trying to get to a common curriculum and get them to somewhat of a common goal, but everybody's path is different.
Exactly. Yeah, we have over 400 students at Dodge, and every student is very different with different needs, different strengths, and so another educational term is what we implement is MTSS, or a multi-tier system of support. And with that system, it's very structured. We have got Tier 1 strategies for instruction and positive supports that all students get. But then, with all of our unique needs, there's going to be students that need some intensified supports, whether it's in academics, reading, or math, or if it's a positive support with their social and emotional needs. So we do have teams that will help support those students. We have Tier 2 strategies and Tier 3 strategies. Our teachers are very strong of getting to know their students. They know how their students learn best and what their strengths are, what their areas of concern are. So it's nice that we do have those systems of support for our students, that teachers can reach out. They can implement things. They can reach out to specialists to help provide those supports for students. So every student gets what they need, and that's what we strive for.
Angie Eberle is the principal of Dodge School. They're getting ready to launch. Was it next week?
Next week.
So, do you think families are ready for all of this?
I hope so. 15th is our first day. So we do have kindergartners coming on the 14th. It's nice to have a day just for kindergartners to have the building to themselves and figure things out that first day before all 400 children come in the building. But yes.
I can't help but think back to the first days with my kids. We talked a little bit about this off the air. My youngest son turns 36 today, but I can still remember day one. And thinking back to those changes, those moves, and Andy was one that always was eager to meet new people. In fact, constantly, especially as a youngster, he would come in and have conversations with folks at our house. And he'd leave the room, and they'd turn and go, "How old is he?" But, and he's carried that on. Very fortunate to that day. But, when you look back and see what your kids do and have done, and you think back to now, here comes the next wave. And this is something that you see and feel and deal with every day. But yet I see this smile, I see this energy that's coming from you. And so you're eager to have them come on and say, "Come on, let's lead you down the path."
Right. What's exciting is when we have students come in the building, even after a break through the year, and it could be just we had a Friday off and they come in on Monday, and they're so excited to come in. And I had a student last year say, "I missed you," and it had just been 3 days. And so our teachers at Dodge, and I know the other buildings, make school an exciting place for students to come. It's a safe place for them, an enriching place for them. And so we make that where students are excited to come back.
Well, you look and sound like a proud parent of everybody. So, congratulations. Yes. This is an exciting time. So everything launches next week. Angie Eberle is the principal of Dodge School, giving us a look ahead as to the first day of school next week. I hope everything goes extremely well, and you're invited back anytime.
Thank you.
Good morning from AM 1430 KRGI 105.5 FM.